A goal without a plan is just a dream. And I don't know about you, CEO, but I'm not here to dream. I'm here to start big, life-altering plans and slay all day. Welcome back to my channel, CEOs. I'm your host, Brandee Gar. I'm a wedding pro just like you who's built one of the largest planning firms in Orlando, Florida. In this video, we're gonna create your 2024 business plan in less than 20 minutes. And I'm gonna show you why you've been doing goal setting all wrong in the past and exactly how to do it so you can slay your goals this year. Let's get into this episode. The other day, I was scrolling on TikTok and I came across this video for something called the Big Ass Calendar. That's actually the name of the product. It's the Big Ass Calendar. And the reason I stopped on this video in particular was because my husband keeps showing me this wall in our office, and he keeps saying, I want to turn this entire wall into whiteboard so that we can brainstorm and we can put everything up on the wall at once. And he really is extremely visual when it comes to seeing a big year at a glance, right? Anytime you make goals that have no plan to them, they're just kind of like this thing you dream about. That's what it stays. It stays a dream instead of something that you take action and actually implement. And I'm very, very passionate about this. So as I'm watching how he lays out his year, I was so intrigued by it because he puts every single thing that he's going to do that year onto this calendar with the most important things first. And that's what struck me the most, because you have to plan for the most important things first. Those things have to get onto the calendar first so that everything else can work around those. It's kind of like, I don't know if you guys remember, if you've ever seen like a science teacher or a motivational speaker that's talking about when you have a bunch of rocks and a bunch of sand and a bunch of water, right? And you're trying to fit all of it into one vessel. If you put the water in first or you put the sand in first, the other two don't fit. But if you put the rocks in first, the sand will fall in around it and the water will fall in around it. So everything fits when you put the most important things in first. So that's really what I want to talk about in this episode. We're going to do this as the way that I set goals every single year, but we're actually going to put them on the calendar. We're actually going to make a plan to achieve each of these goals. The first thing that I want you to know is that we are going to set 3 goals. The reason I say 3 is because you can have many goals within each one, but you want to have 3 overarching goals. And the 3 goals that I have my students set are 1 personal goal, 1 business goal, and 1 revenue goal. There's a couple things that I want you to know about these 3 big goals that you have for your year. Hey there, CEO. If you're fired up and loving this content and you're ready to make 2024 the year that you slay your goals, make sure to like this video and hit that subscribe button with notifications on so you never miss new content. The first thing is that your goals need to be SMART. They need to be specific, they need to be measurable, they need to be attainable, they need to be realistic, and they need to be timely. That is so important. And I see people all the time that set a goal that says something like, I want to make more money, or I want to spend less time in my business. Those aren't measurable in any way whatsoever. They're not specific, they're not timely, right? The second thing I want you to know is that these 3 goals are year defining. What is the thing that will make you look back on that year and say, oh, that year I did X? Some of the things that I want you to think about are like the year we hit our first 6 figures, right? Or the year we hit $500,000 in revenue, right? Those are some great big picture goals. But I want you to think about it when you're thinking about these 3 goals, 1 personal goal, 1 business goal, 1 revenue goal. Make it so that that could describe the year for you, right? That's how I want you to really be thinking about it. Okay, so the personal goes in first. Remember, we want to put those rocks in first. If you put work in first, the rocks may not fit. So what is the 1 big personal goal that you have for this year? If you have a big trip planned or if you have any kind of vacation planned, I want you to get those dates on the calendar first. Could also be something like you're gonna run a marathon this year. Like that could be really cool. What is the date of that? If you have mini vacations, you can do lots of tiny vacations. Get those on the calendar. I also want to have things like birthdays, holiday time off. So those are the things that I really want you to be thinking about. What's gonna go on the calendar first? Personal things first, one tip that I want to give you is to really create very, very, very specific boundaries around your time off, okay? So what happens is we put this time off, but then somebody calls and says, hey, I was hoping that maybe I could get a call with you earlier than it says your calendar is open. Or I was hoping that you could meet me on Friday at 2. If you don't hold those strong boundaries that you already have set for yourself, you're just gonna let your time float away from you. And I don't want that for you. I want you to create very specific boundaries around your time that work for you and your family, because I promise you, I've been down this road, I've done it for 16 years. I promise you that you can still get all of your work done while creating these healthy boundaries for yourself. And the boundaries can look different for all of us. For me, it's that I do not take any calls whatsoever for any reason at all on Mondays and Fridays. The other boundary that I have set is that my calendar is not open after 3 p.m. You choose the boundaries that work for you, but this is so important to hold strong to those boundaries, okay? All right, so the next one is gonna be the revenue goal. And the reason I do the revenue goal before the business goal is because your business goal is really gonna be based off of what your revenue goal is. There's lots and lots to this. The very first thing I want you to do is I want you to just go pull all past data. I want you to know how much revenue you did last year and the year before to really be able to make an educated decision on how much revenue you're gonna do this year. But I really wanna make sure that, again, that this is a SMART goal. I want it to be specific, I want it to be measurable, I want them to be attainable. So I don't want you to say something like, I wanna make, $100,000 if you haven't even made 10 or 20 this year, right? I want it to be realistic and attainable are similar. And then I want it to be timely. I want it to say, by what time am I gonna make this revenue goal? Typically it's by the end of the year, right? So what's gonna go on the calendar for your revenue goal? Well, there's tasks that have to be done to meet that revenue goal, right? Some of those things might be that you're gonna do a bridal show. You want to start looking at what the bridal show dates are, and you wanna get those on your calendar. You wanna get those blocked off so you don't accidentally book a wedding over a major bridal show date. You also wanna get networking events on the calendar, or you wanna get engagement season up on the calendar so that you've got it blocked off and you can start prepping for it. So those are some of the things that you're gonna put on your calendar to hit your revenue goal. All right, and then our last one is gonna be our business goal. So your business goal, remember, it needs to be SMART, it needs to be specific, it needs to be measurable, it needs to be attainable, realistic, and timely. So here's a couple things that might fall under a business goal. One is rebranding, and a rebrand is a significant investment of time and money into your business. So right here in the beginning of the year, if you're looking at all of your brand and you're like, I know I'm gonna do a rebrand this year, I want you to put that on the calendar. I want you to set aside the money in your budget, and I also want you to set aside the time on your calendar to do it. Another business goal might be hiring. You might need to hire a new team member or a new VA, a new OBM, whatever it is that you need to bring into your business. I really want you to be mindful about what that is and when you're gonna do it. So I want you to put that on the calendar so that we can then work backwards with your tasks that need to get done. These are all great business goals, but they all have to lead into what that revenue goal is, right? What do you need in your business to hit that revenue goal? And so that's how you define your business goal. Okay, so what is great about this is now that you've set these 3 goals, now you can start working all the other stuff in around it. The most important thing is that you've got your year at a glance set out in front of you so that you can say, yes, I have my year ready to go. I know it's gonna be a killer year, and I'm going to hit these goals that I've set for myself because they're already on my calendar. If this video was helpful, make sure to check out my Make Money series for wedding pros, where I walk you through my 3-part strategy on how to increase revenue and make more money in your wedding business. Check it out. You guys, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time.